Good morning and welcome to today's 5-minute message. We're getting to the tail end of Philippians chapter 4. Before we get started, I've got a little story for you. A man became envious of his friends because they had larger and more luxurious homes. So he listed his house with a real estate firm, planning to sell it and purchase a more expensive and luxurious home for himself. Shortly afterward, he was reading the classified ads section in the newspaper. He saw an ad for a house that looked just right. He promptly called his realtor and said, "A house described in today's classified section looks just perfect for me. I would love to go see it." The agent asked him several questions about it and then replied, "Sir, the house you're describing is yours." What kind of peace do you have in your life regarding the things that are around you? Are you somebody that wants more and more and more and more and bigger and bigger and bigger? Or are you somebody that's just simply content with what you have? Over the last several weeks, we've been thinking about the peace of God that can be in our lives. And the Apostle Paul has been giving us a lot of instruction on how to live in light of needing peace in our life. He told us to be anxious for nothing, but to be praying about everything. He told us the peace of God can reside in our lives, and if we are struggling with meditating on the correct things, he in fact gives us a list of things that we can meditate on. He says, whatever things are true or noble or right or lovely or just or any of these things, to meditate on those things. And that'd be really great. Then as we get into this last section here, verses 10 through 20, God wants you to have peace in your heart. He really does. He's given us the blueprint for it. And now we can see in practical steps here what it's like to have peace in our heart. In this first part here, verses 10 through 13, we need to be content with what we have. We just need to be content with what we have. So many of us are not content with what we have. We want that bigger house. We want that more luxurious home. We want a bigger boat, a better car, a newer car, nicer clothes, newer clothes, more clothes. Are you just content with what you have today? Philippians chapter 4, verses 10 through 13 goes something like this. "But I rejoiced in the Lord greatly that now at last your care for me has flourished again. Though you surely did care, but you lacked opportunity. Not that I speak in regard to need, for I have learned in whatever state I am to be content. I know how to be abased, and I know how to abound. Everywhere and in all things I have learned both to be full and to be hungry, both to abound and to suffer need. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." We just need to be content with what we have. These Philippians wanted to help out Paul and provide for him financially, and he says, I know that you guys cared, but you lacked the opportunity, and that's okay. Paul says, I am good no matter what. I can be okay with being in need. I can be okay with having abundance. The Apostle Paul, as a Pharisee, lived a very high life. He was very well respected. He had some of the best teachers. He knew what it was like to live high on the hog as a very well-respected Pharisee. He also understood what it was like to suffer persecution for the name of Christ, to be beaten and whipped, to be stoned nearly to death, to be shipwrecked and naked. He lived on both sides of the spectrum. And interestingly enough, he was probably happy no matter what. He learned how to be content. It was something that he learned. You aren't just born with this, you learn how to do it. You go through these events of life. You've seen great and you've seen little. You can just learn how to just be okay with what you have. The secret to all of this is I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Now, this passage doesn't mean that, I need to mow my yard later today, and I can mow my yard because I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. No, we can be content with what we have because of the strength that Christ gives to us. I can be thankful I've got a working mower. I can be thankful that I have a yard. I can be thankful that I got a shower I can jump into afterwards. But I can do all things through Christ. I can be content to be able to mow my yard because of the strength that Christ gives to me. Thank you so much.